Imagine this. One random Tuesday morning at exactly 10:03 a.m., gravity suddenly disappears. Not weakens, not fluctuates, but vanishes completely. For 60 full seconds, the invisible force that pins us to the Earth, that keeps oceans in place, that holds the very air we breathe against the planet, is gone. At first, you probably wouldn't even notice. You'd blink, maybe feel a strange weightlessness in your stomach, like the drop of a roller coaster. Your coffee mug would be the first clue. It rises gently from your desk, liquid droplets breaking free from the rim, floating like a cluster of tiny stars. Then you realize you're not sitting anymore. You're drifting. Every single person on the planet, whether sitting in an office, lying in bed, or running down the street, suddenly begins to float. Cars on highways rise from the pavement, their wheels spinning helplessly in the air. Bicycles, scooters, strollers. Everything becomes a slow-motion ballet of weightless chaos. And because there's no warning, panic spreads instantly. People scream as they're pulled upward, bumping into ceilings, street lamps, even one another. In tall buildings, office workers slam against windows, pressing their faces to the glass like terrified goldfish. Outside, the real horror begins. Trees release their leaves in shimmering clouds, soil loosens, and entire patches of earth peel upward. Birds, confused, flap uselessly because suddenly flight is meaningless. There's no up, no down, just drifting. The oceans respond even more dramatically. Without gravity, the surface tension of water takes over. Waves break apart into colossal orbs of liquid, rising into the sky like floating blue balloons. Ships and boats, once obedient to the sea, are lifted out of the water and spin helplessly in midair. For a few moments, the entire world looks like a dream, a surreal painting. Children's toys hover in bedrooms. Grocery stores become snow globes of canned goods and fruit tumbling slowly through the air. Airplanes, mid-flight, are no longer bound by Earth's pull. Passengers float inside the cabins as the massive machines drift upward, no longer tied to any trajectory. In space, satellites adjust their orbits as the balance of gravitational equations collapse. Astronauts on the International Space Station stare in disbelief as they witness Earth's oceans and atmosphere starting to lift. And then there's you. You're clutching at anything you can. Door frames, street signs, the handle of your chair. But without gravity, your grip means little. Every small movement sends you spinning, tumbling, floating away from the ground you never realized you depended on so much. 60 seconds doesn't sound long, but in this chaos, it feels endless. By second 20, the atmosphere itself begins to shift. Normally, gravity holds the blanket of air close to Earth. Without it, oxygen and nitrogen start to drift upward into space. People gasp, choking slightly as the air thins. Birds and animals panic. Trees release pollen and seeds that float into the growing emptiness above. By second 30, chaos turns into silence. The world is suspended, as if time itself has frozen. Fires without gravity to direct heat and smoke spread in eerie spheres of flame. Cities look like snow globes shaken violently, with furniture, people, and glass suspended midair. The horizon blurs as oceans continue breaking apart into enormous bubbles of water. By second 45, people begin to lose consciousness. Lack of oxygen, sheer terror, and the disorienting weightlessness overwhelm the human brain. The lucky ones are inside small, sealed rooms where air doesn't immediately escape. The unlucky are outside, watching their world disintegrate above their heads. And then, as suddenly as it vanished, gravity returns. At exactly 10:04 a.m., everything comes crashing back down. Coffee mugs shatter, cars slam onto highways, planes plummet. Oceans rain back into their basins in tsunamis of unimaginable scale. Buildings crumble under the sudden weight of furniture, people, and debris smashing into the ground all at once. The world suffers the single greatest collective impact event in history. Not from asteroids or nuclear bombs, but from the simple act of gravity resuming its grip. Millions don't survive that minute. Those who do are left in shock, staring at a scarred Earth where cities are flattened, coastlines redrawn, and forests drowned. And yet, somehow, humanity endures. In the aftermath, scientists argue endlessly about what happened. Was it a natural cosmic glitch? A tear in the laws of physics? A divine warning? No one can explain how gravity disappeared for exactly 60 seconds, but every survivor remembers. They remember the sickening freedom of floating toward the sky, the quiet horror of watching the world unravel, and the bone-shattering crash back to reality. And from that day forward, humanity never takes the ground beneath their feet for granted again, because in those 60 seconds, everyone on Earth learned the same lesson. Without gravity, there is no life, no order, no world, just chaos. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos are coming.